Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by someone's arrogance? Maybe it was a friend, a colleague, or even a stranger whose attitude made you feel irritated or diminished. In our fast-paced world, especially for the youth, encountering arrogance has become almost a daily challenge. It can be in schools, at the workplace, or even on social media. But how do we handle it? How do we stay true to ourselves without letting such behavior consume our peace? Acharya Chanakya, the ancient strategist and philosopher, left us with a wealth of wisdom that remains highly relevant today. Let us explore his teachings and see how they can guide us to maintain our composure and dignity when faced with arrogance. Chapter 1. Maintain composure and patience. The first principle is simple, yet powerful. Remain calm. Have you noticed how easy it is to react instinctively when faced with arrogance? The impulse to retort, to defend oneself immediately, is strong. But Chanakya emphasized that true strength lies in self-control. Maintaining your composure isn't a sign of weakness. It is the hallmark of someone in control of their emotions and mind. Young people today, surrounded by competitive environments, need to practice patience as a superpower. Instead of feeding into the heat of the moment, take a breath, step back mentally, and observe. Chapter 2. Observe and assess their behavior. This leads us to the second principle, observe and assess. It's crucial to understand why an arrogant person behaves the way they do. Is it insecurity? Is it a desire for attention? Chanakya taught that knowledge precedes action. When you take the time to observe without immediately reacting, you gain valuable insight. This perspective allows you to respond, not from a place of emotional turmoil, but from understanding. To the modern listener, this might sound like pausing before responding, a practice that can change the way we engage in difficult conversations. Chapter 3. Limit emotional reactions. Now this naturally brings us to our third principle. Limit emotional reactions. Arrogant individuals often thrive on drawing reactions from those around them. When you react strongly, you fuel their behavior. Chanakya's wisdom tells us that by keeping our emotions in check, we strip them of their power. This is especially relevant to today's youth who navigate peer pressure, social media influence, and interpersonal dynamics daily. Responding with measured emotions not only protects your peace, but also subtly signals to the other person that their arrogance holds no sway over you. Chapter 4. Set boundaries firmly. The fourth principle is about self-respect. Set boundaries firmly. We often believe that being accommodating or overly polite is the way to navigate such behavior. However, Chanakya reminded us that setting clear boundaries is crucial. This doesn't mean being confrontational or aggressive, but rather standing firm. Imagine being in a group project where one person continuously undermines others. Letting it pass may seem easier, but establishing your limits calmly but assertively ensures you uphold your dignity. Boundaries protect your peace and make it clear that while you respect others, you won't allow arrogance to encroach on your space. Chapter 5. Use silence as a tool. Finally, the fifth principle. Use silence as a tool. Have you ever experienced a moment when silence said more than words could? Chanakya highlighted that silence can be more disarming than any verbal response. By staying silent, you refrain from fueling an argument and give the arrogant person no ammunition. In today's world where everyone is quick to voice their opinion, especially online, strategic silence stands out. It shows maturity and confidence, often making the arrogant person realize that their efforts to provoke you have failed. So, as we reflect on these principles from Acharya Chanakya, maintaining composure, observing behavior, limiting emotional reactions, setting boundaries, and using silence, remember that they are not just teachings from the past. They are tools for navigating life today, in a world where ego and arrogance often overshadow genuine connection. For the young and ambitious, mastering these can make all the difference between reacting to situations and owning them. As we continue exploring the teachings of Acharya Chanakya on dealing with arrogant people, let's build on what we discussed earlier. In Phase 1, we learned about maintaining composure, observing behavior, limiting emotional reactions, setting boundaries, and using silence as a tool. Now let's delve into the next set of principles that will empower you to handle arrogance with even more wisdom and confidence. Chapter 6. Leverage your intelligence. Chanakya once said, "A person should not be too honest." This doesn't mean embracing dishonesty, but rather being strategic with your responses. Arrogant individuals often push boundaries and engage in power plays. To deal with this, Chanakya advised leveraging your intelligence. Use wit and strategic thinking when confrontation is unavoidable. Imagine being in a meeting or a discussion where someone's arrogance dominates the room. Responding with sharp, well-thought-out points, rather than impulsive reactions, can shift the balance of the conversation. For today's youth, this means understanding that sometimes the smartest response is one crafted with precision. Chapter 7. Engage with humility. Next, we come to the power of humility. This might seem counterintuitive when dealing with arrogance, but Chanakya believed that humility can act as a mirror. When you respond with genuine humility, it highlights the stark contrast between you and the arrogant person. It forces them, even subconsciously, to reflect on their behavior. For instance, think about those group dynamics at school or work where someone is perpetually trying to show their superiority. Your calm, humble approach can disarm them and set a new tone for the interaction. Humility, as Chanakya taught, doesn't mean lowering yourself. It means elevating the conversation above ego. Chapter 8. Keep your distance. Moving on, the 8th principle, keep your distance. Chanakya emphasized that knowing when to engage and when to step back is critical. It's not always necessary to confront arrogance head-on. Sometimes, maintaining a respectful distance is the best strategy. This is especially relevant for young people today, who often face peer pressure and the compulsion to stay connected in every situation. Recognize when proximity to someone's arrogance is affecting your peace or focus. If it is, take a step back. Protecting your mental energy isn't avoidance, it's wisdom. Chapter 9. Master the art of diplomacy. Diplomacy is a skill that many overlook when dealing with difficult individuals, yet Chanakya taught that wise, tactful interactions are essential. Diplomacy helps you engage without inflaming tensions. For example, if you're dealing with a boastful peer or a competitive colleague, being diplomatic allows you to acknowledge their input without encouraging further arrogance. Say things like, "I see where you're coming from," or "That's an interesting perspective," while still holding firm to your own beliefs. For the younger generation, mastering this art can turn potential conflicts into constructive conversations and build respect in the long run. Chapter 10. Stay focused on your goals. Lastly, the 10th principle. Stay focused on your goals. One of Chanakya's greatest teachings was that distractions, no matter their form, can derail even the most capable minds. Arrogant behavior can often feel like a personal attack, tempting you to invest time and energy into proving your worth or retaliating. But as Chanakya wisely pointed out, letting these distractions shift your focus is a loss in itself. Remind yourself why you are there, whether it's to learn, to achieve, or to grow. For students, this means not letting one arrogant voice in class deter your pursuit of understanding. For professionals, it means staying committed to your work in progress, regardless of who seeks to disrupt it. Each of these teachings, leveraging intelligence, practicing humility, knowing when to keep your distance, mastering diplomacy, and staying focused on your goals, can transform how you navigate interactions with arrogant people. They are powerful reminders that true strength lies not just in what you say, but in how you choose to act. So, as you step back into your daily life, remember that you hold the power to engage with dignity, to be strategic, and to preserve your peace. Acharya Chanakya's wisdom isn't just philosophy. It's a guide for living in a world where arrogance is inevitable, but your response can be exceptional. As we move forward in our exploration of Acharya Chanakya's teachings on managing arrogance, Let's build upon the foundations we set. We've already discussed leveraging your intelligence, engaging with humility, keeping a respectful distance, mastering diplomacy, and staying focused on your goals. Now we turn to the final set of principles that will complete our understanding and give us a comprehensive approach. Chapter 11. Maintain composure and patience. One of the most powerful tools in dealing with arrogance is patience. Chanakya taught that true strength lies in the ability to remain composed even in the face of provocation. Arrogant individuals often thrive on creating tension and seeking reactions. When you demonstrate patience, you take away their power. Imagine being in an argument where the other person is escalating, hoping for a reaction. By staying calm, you not only diffuse the situation, but also show that their behavior cannot dictate your response. For today's youth, who often face high-stress environments both online and offline, practicing patience can be the defining difference between conflict and resolution. Chapter 12. Understand their motives. Chanakya believed in the importance of understanding others' intentions. Arrogant behavior is often a mask for insecurity, fear, or a desire for control. When you take the time to discern why someone is acting arrogantly, you gain insight that helps you respond more effectively. For example, an arrogant classmate or coworker might act that way to cover their own self-doubt or to gain validation. Recognizing this can help you frame your responses with empathy while still maintaining your boundaries. Understanding motives allows you to see beyond the facade, making your approach more balanced and impactful. Chapter 13. Avoid unnecessary confrontation. Not every battle is worth fighting. Chanakya's teachings emphasize that unnecessary confrontation wastes energy and time. Arrogant individuals may bait you into arguments to boost their own sense of power. By avoiding unnecessary confrontations, you choose your battles wisely. This doesn't mean being passive. It means being strategic. For instance, when a peer attempts to draw you into a debate that has no constructive end, stepping back is often the smartest move. In a world where young people face constant opportunities for online and offline arguments, knowing when to walk away is invaluable. Chapter 14. Stay true to your values. One of the greatest lessons Chanakya imparted was the importance of staying true to your values. Arrogant behavior can pressure you into compromising your own principles, whether through peer influence or professional environments. However, staying anchored in your values acts as a compass that guides your actions and decisions. For the younger generation, this principle is especially vital when navigating social dynamics that may encourage conformity or competition. Remember, your values are your strength, and they define your character in the face of arrogance. Chapter 15. Lead by example. Finally, Chanakya's teachings remind us to lead by example. The most effective way to address arrogance is by embodying the opposite qualities: respect, integrity, and authenticity. When you consistently demonstrate these traits, you set a standard that others can't ignore. Leading by example creates a ripple effect that can inspire change in your environment. Whether it's at school, work, or social circles, showing how to act with dignity and respect highlights the emptiness of arrogance. For today's youth, being a role model isn't just a choice. It's a powerful response that can influence others far beyond the immediate situation. These final teachings, practicing patience, understanding motives, avoiding unnecessary confrontations, staying true to your values, and leading by example, complete our guide on handling arrogance with wisdom and grace. Each principle serves as a reminder that while we can't control others' behavior, we can control our responses. So, as you move forward in life, remember that the strength to deal with arrogance lies in your actions, your mindset, and your unwavering commitment to personal integrity. Acharya Chanakya's teachings are not just strategies, they are pathways to becoming your most resilient self. Thank you.